Hey guys, I'm Elizabeth McCravey, a website designer and business coach for entrepreneurs and your host for the Breakthrough Brand podcast, the show that's all about pulling back the curtain on how to actually build a successful business. I don't skim the surface around here. If you want a deep dive into the nitty-gritty details of what it takes to run a successful business and stand out in a crowd, you're in the right place. After creating a multiple six-figure a year website design business in my 20s, I'm ready to share everything I've learned and everything I'm still learning because I believe the keys to building a thriving business should never be a secret. Here you'll find episodes that are actionable, direct, and fun, like friends chatting business over coffee, and a fresh, honest take on the reality of being an entrepreneur. If you're ready to master online marketing, branding, website design, mindset, and business strategy, then this is the podcast for you. It's time to build your breakthrough brand. Let's do this. All right, get ready because in this lengthy episode, I'm taking you behind the scenes with me for 7 and really kind of like 7.5, 8 days. I'm sharing with you all the realities of running a business, what it actually looks like for me in this particular season of life to run my business, the realities of mom life for me, and the mundane moments that feel kind of like, wait, why am I sharing this? I hope this is interesting, but like, okay, this is it. This is like what it actually looks like this week. So some things you'll hear me talk about in this episode. I'm going to talk about what it's like to run my new membership. You'll hear me multiple times throughout the week, like touch in on like, okay, here's what I'm doing for that. And here's what the planning looks like. Template designing behind the scenes of like that process and templates I'm working on, what I'm reading right now for fun and for business, what it looks like juggling mom life and my business, which again, I've done these episodes a few different times. If you've been here a while, you've actually heard me do 2 different behind the scenes episodes in 2 completely different seasons of life. So like, it's kind of fun thinking back on like what those might have sounded like. I haven't listened to those in a while, but like, I know they probably sound a lot different than what I'm sharing here. But you're going to get to see like, okay, how is this season, this particular season I'm in different? And I'll continue to do these kinds of episodes for you guys and show you what other seasons look like. But right now with an almost 1-year-old, like I'm going to show you what it looks like running my business while being a mom. And then I'm also going to share a little bit of real estate business stuff, some details about trying to find a nanny and new childcare changes for Colin, multiple meetings with team members this week. And I'm even sharing little nitty-gritty details like what I'm meal prepping this week, what workouts look like, and some fun random stuff like that. You'll also hear what we did this weekend and a little bit of the next weekend on the end of this episode. And yeah, that's basically it. And I really hope, my hope for this episode is that you find some value in hearing just what behind the scenes looks like for me. I do not do this perfect at all. I actually wish I could have had like a better example week. I feel quite vulnerable sharing some of this because it is like, I'm not absolutely crushing it in business, it feels like. And it's a lot of like a balancing act between figuring out like the harmony of doing mom stuff and taking care of my business, which I think you'll see throughout. But this isn't a week where I'm like showing you all this cool stuff I'm doing. I actually had the thought, you'll hear me show this at the end of this episode, but once I got to the end of the week, I was like, oh my gosh, a cooler week to have shown you guys would have been the next week, where I'll be doing like a mastermind interview call, a nanny interview, a team meeting, a call for my membership site, and some cool stuff like that. That's maybe a little more interesting. But the truth is, like, this is the realities of business. Like, it's not always that interesting. I'm not always doing that cool stuff. So anyway, that's it. That's my introduction. I really hope you enjoy this episode. Any links I mention are going to be linked in the show notes for different like products I mentioned, stuff like that. So I hope you enjoy it. Let's start a week behind the scenes with me. All right, friends. So to start, I want to tell you a little bit about our weekend because I feel like that really sets the tone for the week ahead. And then after that, we'll get into Monday and telling you what all I have going on in the work week itself. So first of all, Friday night, we had friends over to play Settlers of Catan, and it was so fun. 2 of our friends had actually not played it since they moved here in January. So they were like, we got to play. They were craving it. So we had 4 friends over, and 2 of those friends have a baby that's actually 2 months younger than Colin. fun little playmate for him. So they all got there. The babies played together a little bit, and then they put their baby down for bedtime actually in our house, which is fun. That allowed them obviously to get to stay out later. So we played Catan. We had drinks and cheese dip and cookies and just had a really great time together. I did not win the game, but I wasn't in last. So that's nice, right? It was really fun. And then Saturday morning, we started the day with a family walk in our neighborhood before it got too hot outside. You'll probably end up hearing that as a major trend throughout my week of we go on so many walks. And yes, it's 1,000,000 degrees right now as I'm recording this. It's the first week of August. It's hot in Tennessee, but we still love walking, and we try to go in the morning or right before Colin's bedtime to hit the weather when it's not as bad. But we went on a family walk in our neighborhood to start the day. And then I actually went to brunch with a girlfriend at Biscuit Love in downtown Franklin while Adam stayed home with Colin. So that was really fun. It was pretty crowded, but could have been more crowded. That's one of my favorite brunch spots, just such good food. So if you're ever in the Nashville area, there's a bunch of different Biscuit Love locations. Definitely worth checking out. It's very much a touristy place, but is a touristy place, it's actually worth it. So yeah, I did that with her. And then after that, it was a really chill day at home for me. I actually did not really leave the house again, except to go to the gym. I did lots of just playtime with Colin. I did some reading. I'm actually rereading The 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss, which that book, oh my gosh, I'm loving the reread of it, by the way. If you've never read it, I would recommend it. I feel it's actually, maybe I'll do a podcast episode about this at some point, but it's a kind of controversial book. I feel people are either this book's amazing, it changed my life, or they're I hate it. It doesn't make sense. It's not doable. He's annoying. It's very polarizing. But I'm rereading it, and I actually read it for the first time when I was a high schooler, which is so crazy to think about. And I'm reading the exact same copy I read in high school, so I can literally see all the different things I highlighted and underlined and starred back then. And I remember a lot of the principles from it because I've kind of revisited a few times since high school, but that was when I originally read it. It's crazy to see how much this book has impacted me, even from reading it all those years ago. So anyway, I'm rereading it just to get a refresher and learn some new things through a new lens of being a different place in my life. And so I spent some time reading during Colin's naps on Saturday. Spent a lot of time playing with Colin. Adam went and played golf in the afternoon, so me and Colin had some solo time, and that also was kind of during his nap. So we did that, and then we got takeout for dinner. We are big takeout people, so we got some good chicken from this fried chicken place near our house. I got a fried chicken salad. It was great. We got takeout for dinner. We stayed in, and then earlier in the day, actually, I meal planned for the week ahead and ordered Instacart. I love Instacart so much. If you've been listening to the podcast a while, you've probably heard me talk about it. It's a grocery delivery service. Really great. There's a lot of good ones out there, but I think Instacart is so amazing. I've been using it for over 3 years now. If you want to get a deal on your first order with Instacart, I think it's a $10 off coupon. You can go to elizabethmccravey.com/Instacart and you can get that $10. And then I also get $10, which is really nice. But anyway, I did that on Saturday, and usually I like to do the grocery either actually ordering it or just putting in the order for the next day on Saturday, so that on Sunday I can hit the ground running on if we need to prep anything or just actually having food, because we usually kind of start to run out of food by Saturday. So our meals this week, if you're curious, I feel I'm going to share all the details here. So here are the meals that I have planned and prepped for the week. So first thing is this black bean bowls dish. It's so delicious. It's really easy to make. It has seasoned black beans and spinach mixed together. You make it on the stove. And then I put it over this chickpea rice. Really delicious. You put some cheese on it, put some avocado, eat it with some chips. It's one of my favorite easy staple dishes. Really easy to make and heats up well. So I made like a big double batch of that, and we'll eat it throughout the week for lunch or dinner. And then the other thing we're doing is chicken wraps. So I buy the like low carb tortillas, and I like to put some cheese on it, some light ranch. And then it's the like, what we buy is it's literally like frozen chicken tenders, like gluten-free ones. And then I put some spinach in it and eat it with some carrots. It's a really good like lunch typically. And we might have like some Cheez-Its or like some type of like just snack of chips or something like that as a side with it with the carrots. And then we always just buy a bunch of different random stuff for breakfast. So we have that as well. But those are like the two main meals this week. As you can tell, this week I went for like really easy things. So like the black bean bowl, super fast. Chicken wraps, really easy. You just make it like in the moment. Last week I did some like big prep stuff. We did like the spaghetti squash casserole thing that Adam and I both like did so much work making. Like he did the beginning part, I did the final put together of it. So we went with something a little simpler this week. And it'll be really, really good. Again, I'm recording this after Sunday's already happened, and it's already been delicious having those black bean bowls. Okay. And so then on Sunday though, I made the black bean dish at dinner time. But then before that, Sunday morning, we went to church, and Colin had his second experience in our church nursery. So Colin's 11 months old at the time recording this. It's actually literally today as I'm recording this. It is his 11-month birthday. So a month from now, we'll be celebrating 1 year, which is so fun. But in these 11 months, we've been back to church a few times in person since he's been born. But man, I know so many of you guys listening can relate, but it is hard with a baby's nap schedule to make it consistently back to church. And we are not wanting to use that as an excuse. And I have actually talked about like, okay, we want to get back to like consistently being in church every single Sunday, even if that means like his nap schedule's messed up the whole day or whatever happens, because it's just not the same watching it at home on TV. So we really want to be like back in that community. So we've been back a few times, but when Colin was really little, we were just like holding him in the sanctuary with us. And we put these really cute little baby headphones on him so it wasn't too loud because our church is so loud. But then he did the nursery one other time. And it was actually like not a great experience. Again, I'm sure a lot of parents listening can relate of like that first time when you leave your baby at something like the church nursery. It was just such a new environment for him. And I was really hopeful when we left. I was like, oh, this is going to be great. Church nursery, like it was so exciting. And then when we went to pick him up, we found out he had been crying like the whole time. And so it did not go well. We tried another time a few weeks later, but then we got there late and the nursery was full. So we held him the whole service. And then this time we were hopeful. We were like, Sunday morning, we're doing this. We got there early, so we knew we'd have a spot. And I actually went to check on him mid-service, and he was like sleeping in the stroller thing they were pushing some of the babies around in. And then I went back and got him at the actual end of the service. So that went better than expected. And it felt good to me and Adam to be like back in church. Really, really great service. And yeah, better than expected, but he got tired and fell asleep because again, at church time is really hard with baby's nap schedules. Like right now with when he's napping, like both service times are like not good, like neither of them. So that's fun. And so then to keep telling you a little bit more about Sunday, and like I said, I'm going to get into Monday after that. But after church, our groceries got delivered and I like unloaded and did some things there. During Colin's second nap, I did a little bit of work in planning for the week ahead. So when I work on Sundays, it's never like, I say never. Sometimes I will like legitimately work on something on the weekends if I want to. But generally speaking, it's more of like let's plan for the week. Let me check in, basically doing things to make Monday feel lighter and easier when I dive into work. So I did some things during his second nap that kind of just got me ready for the week ahead. I did some planning of like, okay, what all's on the calendar, what needs to go where, what meetings do I have, that sort of thing. And that did not take me his whole nap time. I did some reading and cleaning during the rest of the nap, but I did that. And then my sister and her friend Jonathan came over in the afternoon to hang out. So I hung out with them for like about an hour and a half or so while Adam was upstairs working on schoolwork stuff. And then we had dinner. We went on a family walk because again, we love walking around here. And fun thing, this is like a little tip for you, something to try in your own life. But one thing we always do on Sundays, typically it's done during our family walk. And when I say family walk, Colin's 11 months old. So we're typically pushing him in a stroller around our neighborhood. But one thing we really love doing is what Adam and I call weekly planning sessions, where basically we have like my phone or his phone pulled up. We have a shared Apple calendar where like we can both see each other's things. So like Adam can see all my work things. I have a bunch of different categories that I put things into, like different colors for like meetings and different things like that. And I can see all of his stuff as well. So we get out the calendar and we see like, okay, what do we have going on this week? And we kind of plan childcare stuff for Colin of like, okay, so like when this is going on, you'll be taking care of Colin. When this is going on, I'll be taking care of Colin. When this is going on, we're all going to go do this thing, whatever it is. So we just kind of talk it through. Sometimes something will get added to the calendar, but most of the time it's just a conversation where we're like, okay, cool. This is what's going on. Good. We got a plan. And again, makes us like ready to hit the ground running on Monday. And it's nice because we're just doing it while we're walking. So it's not some like huge ordeal. It's just like we're talking and walking, and it's just a part of our walk, probably like 15 minutes of it. So then we went home, and after we got Colin to sleep, which took a while, lately he's been fighting bedtime, which is so fun. But it did take him a little while to go to sleep. And after he went to sleep, though, we read for like an hour. Again, back on like rereading the 4-Hour Work Week. So that's my book right now. I'm about to start a fiction book for my book club this month. We are reading The Paris Apartment by Lucy Foley. I haven't started yet, but I need to start on that. But at least right now, I'm just reading the Tim Ferriss books. We did some reading, and then we watched some TV, and we went to bed. And that was Sunday. Interrupting this episode with a suggestion for the small business owners listening. Ever wonder what you should do for healthcare when you and your spouse are both self-employed, so there's no work-provided health insurance to participate in? Well, when my husband Adam joined me in the entrepreneurial job space over 4 years ago, we joined Christian Healthcare Ministries instead of getting traditional health insurance. And it was the best decision for us, especially in these years of growing and raising a family while also running multiple businesses. CHM is a health cost-sharing ministry and is a faith-based alternative to health insurance. We did tons of research before choosing CHM, and if you know me and Adam, you know we are all about doing the math when making big or small financial decisions. And even though it's not insurance, CHM shares 100% of eligible medical bills, which is more than the typical 70 or 80% of medical bills paid for by insurance companies. All sharing is determined by the CHM guidelines, which you can check out before and after joining. And for the mamas and mamas to be listening, you truly cannot find a better healthcare option for maternity care. I had a vaginal delivery and a C-section and birth center care and hospital care between my 2 pregnancies and births, and it was all 100% shared for. And outside of birth, we've had our share of emergency room visits and procedures as a family, and those costs were all shared by members at Christian Healthcare Ministries, leaving us only paying our monthly contribution. CHM is less expensive month to month than insurance, and because there's no network, you can choose your care with whichever providers best fit your family. I seriously just cannot recommend Christian Healthcare Ministries enough. You've got to check them out. Go to elizabethmccravey.com/CHM for more information. Also putting that link in the show notes, elizabethmccravey.com/CHM. Now back to the episode. So that's it. And now let's talk about Monday and what all happened then. Okay, so I decided to officially do this episode on Tuesday. That's when I'm recording right now. So Monday has come and gone. And instead of telling you my plan for Monday, which is what I'm going to do for all the other days of the week, I'm literally going to tell you in the morning, here's what I'm planning for the day. And then at the end of the workday, I'm going to give you a recap and tell you what's on the agenda for that evening. But instead, since Monday has come and gone, I'm just going to tell you a recap of Monday. So here we go. All of July and now the beginning of August, again, we're recording this the first week of August. So that's the week you're getting to see the behind the scenes of. But all of July and then finishing this week, Adam has had a class, 2 classes actually, for his grad school program on Monday and Tuesday mornings. So I'm taking care of Colin during his class time. He's in graduate school, if you didn't know, to become a mental health counselor. So very fun. He's getting so close to being done. He's absolutely crushing it. And it's really exciting. He actually starts his internship where he will have like counseling clients and be doing like counseling for real in like 2 weeks. So that's really exciting. So anyway, though, when he's in class, I'm taking care of Colin during his class time. And he usually leaves at about 8:45. And then on Mondays, if he doesn't have the second class, he gets home at like 12:30ish. And if he does have the second class, it's more like 1:30 or 1:45 or 2. So as you can see, like that'd be a big day of like me taking care of Colin solo. And this particular day, because classes are winding down, like this is literally on Monday was his last day of meeting with this class. So anyway, I knew though, starting the day, and again, we talked about this in our Sunday planning time, that I would be taking care of Colin during his class time. And on this particular day, he'd leave by 8:45 and get home around 12:30. So when I started the day, I had the plan that I'm going to work from like 8 to 8:45 to get a start on the workday while Adam takes care of Colin during that time. And then at 8:45ish, when Adam leaves for class, I'm back on hanging out with Colin. So we all got up on Monday around 6:30. Colin has been not sleeping till 7 as consistently lately. For a while, he was really consistent, like that he would sleep until 7, which was nice because then I would often be able to get up before him or sleep in a little bit and let him be my alarm clock. But Monday, we all got up at 6:30. I always nurse Colin right when he wakes up, and then I change his diaper, and then we all go downstairs to play and hang out and have breakfast. Adam is a much more early riser than me, so like on a lot of these days when we're like I'm getting up at like 6:30, he might have gotten up at like 5:30 or 5:45. I just like to sleep more than him, and I'm not as good at. I'm like a striving morning person. Like I want to be a morning person because I love the mornings, but it's hard for me to wake up super early. So anyway, we went downstairs, we played and had breakfast. And from about 6:30 to 8, I was just doing like family life stuff. We had breakfast together. I played with Colin, Adam played with Colin. We talked, we hung out. And fun fact, Monday, so yesterday as I'm talking, was actually our 7-year wedding anniversary. So I'll get to that more when I tell you about Monday night, but it was special waking up with that in mind and knowing that like we had a date night ahead to celebrate. One thing I'll add here, and hopefully this will be a thing later in the week because I would love for it to be, but I love it when I can wake up first thing and do a devotional time first thing in the morning when I wake up or at some point later during the day. If you didn't know, I'm a Christian and my faith is super important to me. So like spending time reading the Bible and praying are things I love and enjoy doing. And again, things like are so different as a parent. Like in this new season, I've found it harder to like be, to have it as much consistency as I once did with like the timing of reading the Bible and doing it every day and all of that sort of thing. So like, I love it when I can wake up and first thing, do that time in the Bible, reading and praying, but it doesn't always work that way. And on Monday it didn't because Colin was my alarm clock. So anyway, hopefully that will be a part of my morning one of these days this week. But anyway, so back on everything though, after hanging out as a family, I went upstairs to start work. I showered and got like slightly ready, but not really, just basically letting my hair air dry. And I went straight into my office from there, just wearing like casual Nike or not Nike shorts, like those Free People type of shorts. I have the knockoffs from Amazon, absolutely love, just really casual, and then like a t-shirt. So that's how I work most days. I'm just super casual in my like at home gear. And when I started the workday yesterday, I made a list in my full focus planner the day before of all the things on the agenda for Monday. So like I knew opening the planner, like here's a few of the things, that I need to get started on now. Here are things I can do later. And one thing I'm super into doing, which you'll hear me talk about in another podcast episode soon, but I like to have in my planner, I'll have things that I'm like reserving for when I'm spending time with Colin to let him play independently while I work on those things. And I highlight those things in my planner. So it's typically things that I can do just real quick from my phone or like don't require a ton of focus and they're not that big. They're just little quick, fast things. So I highlight those and I plan to do those when I'm taking care of Colin. Again, I'm playing with him a ton. So I don't want you to hear me say that and be like, oh, she's just working while her baby sits there in a corner. No, I'm playing with him, but also like he is great at playing independently and I want to encourage that. So I will like, when it makes sense, do some work while hanging out with him. So when I started my workday though, again at 8 a.m., I got to the other stuff that was not those sorts of things. A few things I did, I finalized an email that was being sent out to my email list. I sent it out. I got back to team members' questions, a few different team members, like things from last week or things that were already coming in Monday morning. I check the inbox and respond to emails, assign emails to people who should respond to them instead. Answering questions with Stacy on like, she manages the inbox for our business and does such a fabulous job. But we often like chat on the emails to like, figure out how to respond to things as needed. I also paid contractor invoices that come in because it was the first of the month. And so some of the contractors I work with send me their invoices on the first. And so I pay those. And then I worked on finalizing a new template design and sending stuff to be approved by a team member. So I've been working on new templates. So fun, so exciting. And when I make a new template, it's not just like I make it and then it's cool and done and for sale. I proof stuff like a gazillion times, literally things like from the SEO perspective. I look at the stacking order of everything on the back end and show it. I make sure everything's labeled correctly, that it all makes sense, that it looks good on mobile, that looks good on desktop. So I do all of that. And then I have someone on my team do all that too. So I got a template like ready to go and sent off for that to be done. Those are a few things I kind of did during that 45 minutes. Like again, a lot of those were like quickly moving things like paying contractors, writing team members back. The majority of that time was spent on like the template part. Okay, then once Adam left for his class, he handed Colin over to me. I went downstairs to play. While playing, I did knock, again, a few of those highlighted things off my to-do list, things that I knew I could do while Colin was playing solo. So we played some, we did some reading, we played with his Love Every toys. But then I did do a little bit of like the work stuff. So some of the things I worked on, I did not finish it while Colin and I were playing, but I worked on listing one of our rental properties on Facebook Market. So fun thing, if you didn't know, Adam and I own a real estate investing business. I guess the best way to phrase it. I never know how to phrase that well, but we have, I always literally forget how many properties we have. I had to pause and count for a minute. We have 5 real estate investments. Of those, 4 of them are in Tennessee. 1 is in Alabama. Adam is the one that really manages and runs our real estate business. And I do a lot of stuff for it too, but not nearly as much as him. Like it's really like his business that we both own. In a sense, like he runs the whole thing and does so amazing with it. And I help out when I can and definitely help with like the high level stuff of like us figuring out like different decisions for the business and things. Anyway, I've done a few podcast episodes about our real estate business. I actually did 3 in a row about a year ago now. And like last September, I think was when those aired. If you want to go back and listen to those, and I plan to do more content on the podcast about it because I get that that's like an interesting thing. And a lot of people are interested in getting into real estate investing. Highly recommend it. It's awesome as a way to invest your money, as additional streams of income, all of that. So anyway, I'll do more episodes about that in the future. You can listen to those past ones. I'll link to them in the notes for this episode. But while Colin and I were playing, I worked on listing one of our properties on Facebook Market. It's basically we are having tenants move out of it, and we have the listing like on the MLS and live on like, Zillow and rent, realtors.com and all those sites, but we haven't booked anyone in it yet. And we're wanting to like expedite that process. And my sister who works in real estate suggested we put it on Facebook Market, which I actually had not done before. So it basically was like I was relisting the rental listing, like redoing it basically on Facebook. So I started on that, but then didn't quite finish it. And then later when Adam got home, we both looked at it together and I brought it live and all that. Other things I did while playing with Colin. I helped Stacy on my team with a few things. So we were messaging each other pretty consistently back and forth. I can do that from my phone. So I'm like playing with Colin, writing her back a little bit. I got a meeting scheduled with another team member. So like sent her my calendar and got that set up. I ordered envelopes for our Breakthrough Brand All Access cards. I'm mailing all the new members. So I got those ordered. We were out of envelopes. And so that needed to happen. Just again, a quick like Amazon thing on my phone. And then Colin and I played. played. So the majority of that time, again, Colin and I are playing, but then also knocking out a few things on the to-do list, which feels really good to be doing those things during that time versus like the time when I have like, okay, I have this hour straight to focus. Like I want to save that time for like the really big things. So at about 9:50, about an hour later, I feed Colin again, like nurse him again, and I put him down for his first nap. Usually I can count on the first nap being a good one. Not always, but usually. So I usually like when I'm sitting down for nap time, I'm like planning quite a few like big things I want to work on. Usually brew another cup of coffee, sit down and like get to work. So during the nap yesterday though, I worked on updates to my website that I've been slowly doing, some like redesign stuff. I spent about an hour inside of my Breakthrough Brand All Access and Book.Designer Facebook groups. So I like to touch in with those groups 3 times a week. And I usually spend like an hour each time, writing people back, answering questions, all of that kind of stuff, which might not sound like maybe the best use of time, like doing that during nap time, but I really love being active in those groups. And I'm trying to, answer questions that are like business coaching-esque, like people have this problem, they want help with it. So often I'm writing back to people like a paragraph every time. So it's like something I definitely want like good focused work time doing. And so I did that. And then once Colin was up, we went out and ran an errand, and then we came home and had lunch. And while having lunch, Adam got home and we hung out together, like me, Adam, and Colin for like 30 minutes or so. And then I went back upstairs to work solo. So after that, Adam took over childcare with Colin for the rest of the day. Besides me taking breaks to like say hi or to feed him, because he is still nursing. So from about like 1:30 to 4:30ish, I was working. And here's the thing, it's again back on how like things are just different now as a mom working from home, but I was working from like 1:30 to 4:30ish, but was interrupted plenty of times. Like I fed him a few times, went downstairs to help with something, talked to Adam and Colin, like whatever it is, a few different times, but I was getting like more focused work done. So I did some various administrative stuff for my membership. I worked on content for the membership. So that was kind of like some more like high level focus things I did during those hours. And then I have a big overhaul project coming up in about 2 weeks with the company's systems up. Courtney from Systems Up actually is like a longtime customer of mine, and it's cool. Their website was actually built with the Gabby template, and it looks so super nice, but they're just an incredible company that moves people over to ClickUp and helps you like create better systems in your business. They have courses and all kinds of stuff. So really awesome company. If you do contact them to work with them or anything, tell them I sent you and that you heard about them from this podcast. But anyway, I'm moving over to ClickUp, like moving all my business operations, all the administrative stuff, all over to ClickUp. And it definitely feels like a huge undertaking of a project. Oh my gosh. I had been thinking about moving to ClickUp for about a year. And now that I'm like working with them to do the overhaul, I've realized like why I did not do it myself. Cause I'm like, oh my gosh, no wonder like at the point my business is at now, we just have so much stuff already set up that it feels like a ton of work and honestly really confusing in a lot of ways to switch the project management software we use. So I have a lot of onboarding stuff that I'm doing for that project, and I've been like slowly working through it. And so I spent probably like 30 to 45 minutes doing one of the forms they sent me and working on writing out one of the systems they're going to be putting in to ClickUp for us once they like do the whole overhaul for my company. So I'll link to them in the notes for this too if you want to reach out and like check them out and all that good stuff. So worked on that. And then at 4:30, I stopped work. I went on a walk with Colin and Adam. And then we moved into Colin's dinner time, but not our dinner because #date night. And my sister came over for that date night at about 6:45 to babysit. So I say babysit, but really she was hanging out with the monitor. She actually was hanging out reading The Silent Patient, which is an awesome mystery thriller book. I read it a few years ago, but she's reading it for the first time right now. So we put Colin down for bedtime. And then at like 7:15ish. And then that was kind of a struggle. He didn't really want to fall asleep again, been fighting bedtime lately. But once he was asleep, we left for our dinner reservation. He did not wake up again while she was there. So that was good. She didn't like have to go in there and try to get him to keep sleeping or anything. And she just got to sit there and read her book. And she actually made us homemade zucchini bread, which is so sweet. Laura, we got home from our date night and there was fresh zucchini bread in the oven that she'd like brought all the stuff and then like put in the oven for us. So we had dinner at Colasino's. I think that's how you say it correctly. It's in downtown Franklin. Super delicious Italian food, like a fancy, but not too fancy, but fancy, like Italian restaurant. We really love it. And it was fun getting out and doing like a for real date night. And it was our anniversary. So we spent that time like reminiscing on 7 years of marriage and the last year in particular, which had so much change in our life, having a baby and other work related things, moving to our new house, like so many things. So I always love our anniversary dates where we really spend a lot of time like reminiscing and talking about goals and hopes for the year ahead and all that, and just celebrating our marriage. So that was really good and really fun. And that was Monday for you. Good morning, friends. So here is what is happening on Tuesday. So Adam has class again. So same as yesterday, basically. Again, the past months, some of these days the class was longer, but he's like winding down these summer classes. So it's just one class today, literally the same schedule as yesterday. So basically, I'm getting to work for about 1 hour right now before he leaves for class. And then it's mom time until about 12:30. And then it's back to work for me, probably from about 1 until like 4:30 or 5. So during this early 1 hour time slot, I'm doing some administrative stuff. I'm recording this podcast time, obviously. I'm checking emails, checking with team members, and then working on website updates and some things relating to the changes I'm making to my shop and all of that. So design stuff. Then my plan is to play with Colin. Nothing special planned. We'll just be at home playing. We might take a walk if the weather is permitting, but otherwise we'll probably just like hang out and play for a little while until nap time. And then we'll have nap time, and I hope to get some good stuff done during nap time. One thing in particular I think I will work on during nap time is working on launch stuff for new templates, like getting things ready for that, kind of mapping out like what the plan is for the launch and some of that sort of stuff. Once Colin's up from his nap, whenever that ends, we'll have lunch, we'll hang out together until Adam is home. And then once Adam's home, it's back to work for me. And some major things to just share with you that I'm trying to accomplish today during the workday, or possibly like right after work. This first one I'm about to share might be more of like an after work to do. So contacting potential nannies. So I put up a few days ago a job posting for a part-time nanny on care.com, which, oh my gosh, talk about a full circle moment. If you haven't heard me talk about this before, I actually nannied part-time for multiple families. I did a whole episode where I talk about what my life was really like when I started my business. So scroll back a few episodes to find that one. I'll link to it in the show notes as well and reference it there. But I was a nanny when I was starting my business, and I found all the families I worked with through care.com. So literally I already had an account from back when I was the person being a nanny, and now I have a child and am trying to find a nanny. So that was kind of crazy, like logging in and being like, oh my gosh, here's all the jobs I got and here's all the people I contacted and all of that kind of stuff. So that was kind of cool. But anyway, we've had 4 people like apply for the job, and I have not written them back yet, which I've got to do. And this is also new to me too. Like I haven't done this before, obviously. So kind of figuring out like, okay, how do we want to interview them? When do we want to interview them? So writing them back is on my agenda today, basically, and kind of looking over what they sent. And that might be something that I might save for like after work when Adam, Colin, and I are all just hanging out together. Things though that I'm going to do in the workday: prep for the 2 meetings I have going on tomorrow. Do one of the exercises, like the writing exercises from the 4-Hour Workweek book. I've been rereading. This book is very like action oriented. So there's multiple times where it's like, answer these questions, do these things. And I don't don't want to like just read it all without applying any of it, even though I really have been enjoying reading it. So that could be easy for me to do. So I want to like during the workday, because again, this is stuff that relates to my business. I'm going to get out my business journal and like work on those things. Then another thing I'm trying to accomplish today is designing the shop product page for a new template. So it's a new type of template, specifically sales page templates, which I'm so excited about, but I have to figure out from a strategy and logistics perspective, like how do I want to lay this out? Like, does each sales page template have its own page in the shop? Is it all one page? Writing the copy for it, which I've already written some of, but like really refining that for this new product. So that's really fun to me. Again, I'm such a designer at heart. So like whenever I do get to have days in my business where I spend a lot of time designing, which the past few weeks have certainly been that way as I've been working on new templates, I've been able to have like days where I'm just designing all day when I'm working. It's fabulous. But I'm excited to get to work on my own website and working on that product page stuff. And I'll also be getting back to team members, like feedback on certain things. I can tell you what those are later, but there's a few different things I'm needing to like write back on and look at and approve and all of that. So I'll be doing some of that as well. And those are basically the major things from today. I might be forgetting something, but that's what I have jotted down in my full focus planner, which I'll link to that as well. I know I mentioned it when I was talking about Monday, but I'll link to that in the notes with this episode if you want to check it out. I have a coupon code as well at the link if you want to see that for yourself. So that's what I have on the agenda for Tuesday. And I'll check in at the end of the workday, tell you how it all went, and then also tell you what we'll be doing this evening. All right, I'll talk to you then. All right, guys, I'm back. The Tuesday workday is over. It is 4:43 p.m. and I'm here to check in on how things went before I go downstairs to clean up the house a little bit. And then when Adam and Colin get back from their errand, hang out with them. So today went about how I expected. Nothing super exciting, honestly. It's a day where like I was taking care of Colin a lot in the morning and then doing some work stuff. Tomorrow will be a bigger work day for me, but today was more of like just a little bit and then taking lots of breaks to take care of Colin. So my big focus today though was designing stuff on my own website. I got through that really well. I actually designed the new shop page for my new sales page templates. It looks great. I'm excited about that. It was fun diving into that, both like working on the copy and laying it all out. I still have to like put all the template images in and link things up and all of that, but like the core design is there and ready to go. I also worked on cart pages for the new templates and some stuff in ThriveCart and then ConvertKit, kind of playing around with some ideas within ThriveCart and then like setting up some automations in ConvertKit and like all the post-purchase things, right, that happen after someone buys a template. So every time I have a new template come out, I have to do that stuff again for new templates. I do all that myself in my business. I really love like the automations and back-end work and post-purchase stuff. So I like doing all that. I was working on that today. So still a lot to do there before these new templates can go live, but I did make major progress. I hit some roadblocks in working on all that because of the fact that like I was working on the sales stuff and then some of the templates aren't done yet. So I don't have the screenshots. So there's a lot of things like that, but I did make progress on that. I did not do the 4-hour work week book exercise I mentioned this morning. I really wanted to do that, but I didn't get to it. That is just a problem sometimes. I did not have it as like a must do today. And things like that can also just always not feel that urgent. So I didn't get to it. I want to do that though. Hopefully still today. I might work on that after we put Colin down for bedtime, like suggest to Adam that we read for a little bit and me work on that. So I didn't get to that. But other things I did today, I did some posting on Instagram. I had been off of Instagram for about 5 days. I've been in a major habit lately of taking like big Instagram breaks just because I'm enjoying being off the app. So I was off of it for like 5 days, but then I got back on. I posted about the podcast that aired today. I posted a reel that I made to go with the podcast episode that I made about a week ago. So all that got posted, sharing about the episode. At the time recording this episode that aired is 3 myths about starting a branding and website design business. It's a really good episode. So I felt especially excited to share about that. And after being off Instagram for a few days, it was like, yeah, I'm ready to jump back in to share out this episode because it's really good. while I was with Colin, I wrote some in his Promptly journal. If you don't know what those are, I'll link to it, but it's really cool. It's a pregnancy, all the way through 18 years of life journal for your kids. So it starts with like some questions and prompts for each trimester of pregnancy. And then your birth story. And then it goes into like every month for the first year of life. And then after that, it's every year. And again, it has like some prompts, hence the name, and you put photos in and can just jot down things about like what's happening in your child's life. So I think it's really cool. And as someone who's like such an avid journaler, I bought like all the things relating to this kind of stuff when I was pregnant. And then now for Colin, like I have a calendar for his first year. I've been doing the Promptly journal. So anyway, I really love all that stuff. And today he turns 11 months. So I went ahead and started writing in some of the stuff for like the 11-month questions. And then I need to take his photo, his like 11-month photo. I haven't done that yet. I'll probably do that tomorrow, but I really love doing that. So I wrote that some. I planned out stuff for the template launch. I did that during Colin's morning nap, and I got Abby everything she needs so she can work on promotional graphics for that. I made her a Loom video walking through the launch. She and I are meeting one-on-one tomorrow, but I went ahead and sent her this stuff today so she could get started on it before our meeting. I have 2 meetings tomorrow with 2 team members, one at 10 a.m., one at 12, and I prepped for both of those. And that's about it. So my work day today, I feel like give or take, when you take out interruptions, probably a little less than this, but anywhere from 4.5 to 5 hours was about what my work day was today. Like I said, I did have some interruptions. So it was not like working 2 hours straight, working 3 hours straight. It was more like working an hour, breaking to feed Colin, working 2 hours, breaking to like put him down for a nap and feed him for the nap, like that sort of thing. So it's very like back and forth there, which is totally okay. That's the season of life we're in. And I've learned to adapt well to this. So right now, Adam and Colin are gone. They're at Lowe's running some errands for like house stuff we need. And when they get back, I'll hang out with them, but I'm about to stop work and go downstairs and like probably chill for a minute or clean up the kitchen or something until they're home, or start prepping dinner. I don't know. We eat dinner at like 5 lately. So I might go ahead and start prepping dinner, but nothing really big planned for tonight. We had like an exciting evening last night. Tonight we'll just be at home, but I am super excited about what we're doing tonight, because we are going to watch the new episode of Westworld and eat some crumble cookies, which sounds pretty amazing. So if you haven't ever seen the show Westworld, we really love it. It's in its 4th season. I will say the best season of it was season 1. I have not loved future seasons as much, but season 1 of Westworld is probably like the best singular season of television I've ever seen. Like, it's so amazing. Absolutely love it. So if you're looking for a show, that's on HBO, and we really enjoy it. But the new episode came out Sunday, so we're going to watch it, and we're into it to the point where like we watch the analytic videos on YouTube after. Adam listens to a podcast where they like recap each episode. So we really enjoy it. And we have crumble cookies to go with it. This week's lineup for crumble, super good. We have the banana bread cookie and the strawberry icebox cake cookie. So maybe as you're listening, if you're looking for a treat, like go get yourself some crumble tonight and watch a new show on TV. Another just quick plug for a television show. We finished it like, I guess 2 months ago or so, but Severance. It's an Apple TV original. So good, really interesting, futuristic vibes. It only has had 1 season so far. Just go watch the trailer for it. It'll tell you everything you need to know, but that show is freaking amazing. I absolutely loved it. So did Adam. I wish I could like rewatch the whole thing fresh because I already seen it once. It was amazing. So I'm really excited for season 2 to come out. Another thing I'll probably do tonight is write back the potential nanny hires. I'm thinking actually once Adam and Colin are back and we're all hanging out, I'm just going to bring my laptop downstairs. And again, while we're hanging out, just write them back and maybe talk to Adam about like what our plan is for interviewing the nannies. And we're also probably going to walk after dinner. So that's basically it. So looking forward to Westworld tonight, possibly doing some 4-hour work week book stuff before that, and very much looking forward to crumble cookies. So I'll be back tomorrow morning to tell you about Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be fun with meetings and some more work on different things in my business. So talk to you then. All right, it is 8:50 now, and I've been working for about an hour on Wednesday morning. Last night, Adam and I very much enjoyed the new Westworld episode and our crumble cookies, and I did get back to the potential nanny hires and contacted them about interviewing, which I have a fun little, I guess, random tidbit of advice for you here as business owners. But as I was thinking about like writing back all the nannies, back and forth was my instinct for scheduling an interview, like me saying, could you do Monday at 4? Here's our address, because that's how we do things in like everyday life typically, right? When it's not like a business meeting. But I thought, why not apply what I do in my business and what I teach people to do in this podcast and in my course Book.Designer to this as well, which is to always send someone a scheduling link versus doing the back and forth. So in my business, literally the whole time I've always used scheduling calendars anytime there's any kind of meeting, whether it's a podcast interview, a client meeting, a discovery call, a team one-on-one meeting, whatever it is, I use Calendly to schedule them. And so I was like, you know what? Instead of doing the back and forth, I'm going to send these amazing nannies a link to schedule a meeting with me. So I made an event on my Calendly calendar. I'll link to Calendly in the show notes if you want to check them out, but that's the scheduling platform I use. And I sent them a link. So I like set it up. I added the like place as our home address. I put the days in that I knew worked for me and Adam and Colin's schedule. And I sent it to them. And so one of them is already scheduled, which is great. And it saves time. And so there's no reason not to use these types of resources like this in our personal lives too. Like just because Calendly is typically a business thing that we're used to using it that way doesn't mean you can't use it for something like this. So there's just a little advice. And if you are still doing all the back and forth for scheduling your client meetings, scheduling podcast interviews, stop doing that. You can literally have one event on Calendly for free without paying monthly if you want to have one event turned on. So there's no reason not to use it. Okay, back to today though. So today, Colin woke up at like 2:45 a.m. and obviously did go back to sleep. Thank the Lord. But we are both a little tired after that, meaning me and Adam, and honestly probably Colin as well. He hasn't been doing that as much lately, like waking up kind of like in the middle of the night. But he did. He is definitely have a little bit of a cold right now, which I think he got from the church nursery on Sunday. So anyway, he was not sleeping great. Adam was able to get him to go back to sleep. And then we all got up around 6:30. We hung out, had breakfast. Adam and I sat and talked over coffee and breakfast, and all three of us hung out, worked with Colin on like his close to walking skills. He can like walk right now, assisted like holding our hands. So that's been kind of fun playing with him doing that. And what today looks like though. So today, Adam does not have work stuff for his school or class or internship or any of that. So he's with Colin all day while I'm working. And actually they do have something to do today for the real estate business, and he's going to take Colin to do that with him. So that's fun. They'll be doing some errands for that this afternoon. But if you haven't caught on to this yet, if you listen to the podcast regularly, you might already know this, but in this season of our lives of like basically Colin's first 11 to 12-ish months, we have not had any additional childcare help besides family coming to visit. It helps sometimes, which has been really awesome, but it's just been me and Adam and Colin basically. And we did that by choice. It was not like, oh, like we can't make that work to have a nanny or do daycare or something. We just didn't want to. We were really interested for his first year of life, both being able to be home with him since our work lives did allow for it. That was like literally a goal of ours of like, what if we were both able to be home and both working and both taking care of him, like very much like co-parenting. Neither one of us is like just the only person with Colin and then one of us is the only one working, but like both of us doing it together for his first year. And it's been such a blessing, like that we've had that flexibility. And I know like it's incredible to be able to do that. And I'm really grateful that right now I am like, I'm working and very much working, earning money, doing great things in my business. And then like my baby's downstairs and I can go see him whenever I want to, which I feel so blessed by. But yeah, that's been like what we've done intentionally this first year of Colin's life. And I totally get that not everyone wants to do that, and that's fine. But that was literally like, you know, you need to know your goals and your family. And that was a goal of ours. And I feel happy we've made it work. And I know for like later children, we might not be able to, but it worked this time. But in 2 short weeks from when I'm recording this, actually probably already happening when you guys hear it, but we'll have our first childcare help with him starting preschool. It's basically a Mother's Day out, but they call it preschool, and he'll be going to that 2 days a week from basically like 9 to 2. And then Adam will be working those days as well. So like when I pick up Colin at 2 from preschool, it'll be like I'm taking care of Colin the rest of the day, but then that whole morning will be like, hours straight of me being able to get focused work done, which I have not really had in this whole first year of his life. So that'll be so interesting. Such an adjustment. I'm already feeling like I'm going to miss him so much when he starts doing that. But I am also excited at the same time for like having that time back for my business and for doing other things as well. So we have that starting. And then we're also, as you've heard, going to have a nanny, hopefully for just like 10 hours a week is kind of like our thought for how much help we want. So probably 2 5-hour chunks. Again, Adam is going to be way less available also when Colin starts preschool because he'll be starting like being a counselor completely part-time hours, a little more than that actually. So he won't be able to take care of Colin as much as he has been. So that's going to be helpful so that I can continue to work. But anyway, we have all those shifts literally coming this month. But for the past 11 months, it's just been very much us and we've loved it. But we're also excited for this new season. Have a lot to figure out with that. I'm excited that I'm doing this week in the life with you guys right now, though, when it has been another week that's been more similar to what it's been like the last 11 months. So anyway, they're downstairs right now. I'm upstairs in my office. Adam and I like both know going into today that like Adam's the one primarily taking care of Colin. I'm the one primarily working, which doesn't mean we won't do a little bit of both, obviously, but like that's kind of our plan for today. So it's like, I feel like, yes, I'm supposed to be upstairs working in my office right now. That's what I need to be doing. And Adam needs to be taking care of Colin. So anyway, on the agenda though, for me today, this morning with work, I have 2 meetings in the first half of the day. These are my only 2 meetings this week. And guess what? I batched them on the same day very intentionally. I'm very pro if your like energy allows for it to do all your meetings for the week on one day. So you can have the other days meeting free. And some weeks I have a whole lot of meetings and it does need to be on like 2 different days, or it might be a day where it's like start to finish, there's 5 total meetings with not much gaps between them. But this week it's only 2 meetings and they're both today. And there's about an hour break between them, mostly because I'm going to need to do stuff after the first meeting. So I'm like, I want that hour and then going into the second meeting. So to tell you about those meetings, the first meeting is with Stacy. She does customer support on my team and she's absolutely amazing. And this is our like monthly customer support meeting. Basically, it's the first week of the month. So we're doing that monthly meeting together. And if you've ever purchased anything from me, you might know Stacy. If you've ever emailed and been like, hey, I'm having this template problem. I need help figuring this out, or I have a question about this thing. You might have interacted with Stacy. And if you have, you know, she's absolutely incredible. Like literally everyone who buys templates just raves about like the customer support we provide at M Shop. And she's like such a huge part of that. Like she is doing the customer support and she's awesome at like detailed help, really like getting into your show at account if needed and like looking and helping you solve the problems that come naturally with buying and setting up a website. It's just, there's going to sometimes be problems and she's there to help with that. So anyway, if you have a template from us, like email if you have a question and we're happy to help. But yeah, we're having our monthly customer support meeting and she manages the inboxes for the business. So that's kind of what this meeting is focused on. I am still in our inboxes myself way too much, which is something I'm working on. Maybe something I'll do a podcast episode about at some point, but I feel like I spend way too much time opening my business's inboxes and then honestly not really taking much action. It's like almost a bad habit. I'm again, literally working right now on breaking. I have a lot of ideas for like things I need to do to improve that. But what we'll be doing is working through all of the inboxes together. And I'm actually going to pull up our meeting agenda. Some of the things on it. So we literally will have the inbox pulled up together and figuring out like, okay, who needs to reply to this? What do we need to figure out before we can respond to this person? Because that's what a lot of the emails are. It's like, I'm bad about leaving emails sitting because I'm like, I don't know how to reply to it right now. I don't have the answer. And then I just don't reply, which is again, a bad habit. So why I have help with email. But we have some emails like that we like need to make decisions on and respond to. We also have stuff about me being a guest on other people's podcasts, some inquiries about that like need to get scheduled Also people I want to invite to be guests on my podcast or who have inquired about being guests that we need to write back to. And now again that I'm about to have more childcare help. I'm actually going to be doing like some podcast interview batching at the end of this month. So get excited to hear some guests coming up on the Breakthrough Brand podcast. I'm excited about that, but we're going to look through some of that and invite people to be interviewed. There is some stuff for like gifts I've gotten from companies that I need to respond to. We're going to look at failed payments. And then there are some particular things I'm wanting Stacey's help with of like drafting this email to someone and then me looking it over, adding to it, basically her helping me like get some things out and sent. So I have notes on that we're going to look at. Other things we look at, let me see our main agenda. Hang on. Okay, so we'll also be looking at any new MShop website templates that have launched and making sure we have those recorded in our spreadsheet where we like record different people who have launched their templates and like told us they launched. So that way we like know it happened. Because we love having like a solid bank of like, hey, if someone's asking like, I want to see the Gabby template built for a realtor, we can be like, yes, let me send you an example of that. So we like to look at that and update it together. We're going to look over our lead generation results from the month prior of like looking at any trends of like people who inquired and purchased or didn't purchase, clean out the inbox, like I already said. And that's basically it. Any customer support issues that she needs my help with. And that's the main stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing in about an hour for about an hour. And then after that, the next meeting I have is with Abby, who is also on my team. Abby is the stellar design genius over here. She does all the graphics for things like launches and does a variety of other things in the business as well. So I'm like designing the templates and things on my own website. And then she's doing all the graphics you guys see, which looks so amazing. She's really like just such a talented designer and calligrapher and all the things, very like smart and savvy with marketing as well. And she took off July from her business and from my business to just be with her family, which is really cool. And I admire that so much that like we both together like intentionally planned like, okay, Abby's taking a month off. What do we need to do before she takes the month off? What do other people need to take over while she's away? And then like I did not contact her at all. We messaged like one time and I sent her a card in the mail. But she like very much just had the month off. And this is our first meeting since then. So I feel like we have a lot to cover and I'm excited to hear like how her month away went. And just the hearing even you guys, like as I'm talking about taking a month away, like remember that's something we can do as business owners. So like if you're like thinking like, oh my gosh, she took a whole month off, like that's awesome. Like, yeah, maybe you could do that too. I know I can certainly do that. And we all need to like do that if that's something we want to do. So anyway, I think that's cool that she did that. And so we're going to meet and we have a whole agenda of things to talk about. Some graphics she's going to be making for Pinterest and for like new templates is one thing. But other than that, we're mostly going to be catching up and me updating her on like different things that have changed in the month of July because a lot of stuff happened that month. So kind of updating her on that. And then after my meeting with Abby, I'm going to do what me and Adam call going off campus. It's so funny. At some point, he just started terming like us, like either of us leaving the house to go work as being off campus, as if our house is like our campus. I don't know. He said it and it stuck. And so I'm going to be going off campus to a coffee shop to do some work. And I really, in this season of being a mom, I valued working away from my home office so much more than ever before. Literally, I love being at home. I love working from home. I love my home office. And before Colin was born, I like really did not like working in coffee shops unless it was to go work on writing for like a course or something of that nature, like really focused work. Now I'm like, I like it more basically. I liked it then, but did it less. Now I'm like, I need it, I guess is a better way to put it, more than just like enjoying it. It's really helpful just to get out of the house, not have any distractions, and go with like a purpose of like, this is the thing I'm going to work on. I'm going to have zero interruptions. I'm going to get a great coffee drink to do some deep work. So during that time off campus, I'm going to work on writing trainings for the membership, stuff for the month of August. I kind of have some ideas, but I haven't outlined anything yet. So I'll record it later, but outline while I'm out. And then I'm going to respond to questions and comments and messages in our membership Facebook group. So like I said earlier in the week, I like doing that 3 times a week. So I'll probably do that while I'm at the coffee shop as well. And I probably won't work on template stuff today. So like yesterday, working on stuff for my template shop was like a big focus and doing a lot of design. But I don't really have as much to do for that today because basically I'm waiting on other people to get back to me on things for the new templates. So it's kind of like I'm being held up on any things I can do next because I need to hear back from those people first. So like one thing, oh my gosh, I'm so excited about this. I cannot wait to hear back from her. But my amazing copywriter, Emily Conley from Emily Writes Well, she's incredible. But she is actually reviewing the first of the new sales page templates. The first one is the Reese template, and then I'm going to be making them for other templates as well to like match each of the templates. But the first one, the like flagship one that will base the other ones off of, is for the Reese template. And I'm paying Emily to audit it, basically looking like from her copywriter lens, like what can be done better. If you were like if someone hired you for sales page copy and you're using this, like what would be lacking, what would be better, what would you change? And I'm so excited to hear her feedback. And the reason I'm asking her to do this and paying her to do this is because I'm like, I want these sales pages to be literally the best of the best. And I think having a copywriter's eyes on them, in addition to my eyes, everyone on my team's eyes, and oh my gosh, so many people have looked at them already, but it's like, I want that perspective to make sure it's amazing for you guys. So she's going to be doing that and then giving me feedback. And then once she gives me that feedback, I'll do edits to it and then get it to its final version. And then once it's at its final version, I'm going to make the sales page templates for the other templates I'm making it for. It's so confusing the way I'm talking about this, but I'll be making them for the other templates as well. And then adding them to my shop. So there's a lot of things like I'm waiting on other people for. Stacy is also helping me with some of the updates to my site, how I'm redesigning the shop. She's doing some of the like back end work on like integrating everything throughout the site that I've already designed so that all the template shop pages match. So she's doing some of that. And I think she's actually working on it this morning before our meeting is when she told me she was going to be getting to it. So I'm also waiting. Like I don't need to do anything there until she's done that. So that's kind of my agenda for the day. I'm trying to think of anything else. Those are the main things. And then there will also be like me doing things as following up from each of those 2 meetings. I also need to get back to Faith on my team about some social media stuff she's working on. So that's something I need to like literally add to my to-do list. And on the 4-hour work week stuff I told you guys about yesterday, I did get to some of the activity from the book, but gosh, some of these things that are like really dreaming for your life and business, it just takes a while to like do it. So I like started on it, last night more and actually read more of the book last night as well. But I did not finish. So that's something I want to do today and need to like not put off and see it as a priority, even though it's not like a super like obvious drives the business forward sort of thing. So that is it. I'm going to get to it now and start on this to-do list. I'll check back in at the end of the day and tell you what we have going on this evening. All right, guys, so it is Wednesday and it's 4:53 and I'm about to wrap up work after I finish talking to you guys and I am tired. It has been a day with a lot of talking. I have my sore throat issue I tend to have on like days where I do a lot of meetings or long meetings in this case, and a lot of good like intensive work done, like administrative, kind of boring, but like needs to happen in a business kind of stuff that I do at the beginning of the month. So anyway, let me tell you about the day. So I started the day after I finished recording for you guys with some administrative stuff to get ready for my meeting with Stacy. And I did keep working on that exercise from the 4-hour work week book. Again, it takes me a while to get through something that's like super like dreaming oriented for your business. But I did a little bit more work on that. And I actually ended up adding a sticky note to my laptop to help me focus today and for the rest of the week. That is a little takeaway from that book, from one of his chapters on productivity. But he suggests like asking yourself the question. I'm going to ask you guys this question. It's been very motivating to me today. But am I inventing things to do to avoid the important? And then another way he phrased it was, am I being productive or just active? So I literally wrote both of those questions on sticky notes. I have one stuck on my laptop laptop today and I have one stuck in my planner. And I've been like, okay, like, am I doing this? Am I inventing things to do to avoid the important? So today my goal has truly been to like not invent anything to do to avoid the things that really need to get done. And that's helped me focus. So if you need a little push on focusing in your business, that's a little helpful thing. Maybe asking yourself that question and putting it on a sticky note. So anyway, my meeting though with Stacy was great. We tackled the inbox. I worked on scheduling podcast interviews for this show and also scheduling 2 different interviews for podcasts I've been asked to be a guest on. So I got those scheduled, invited 7 people to be guests on this podcast, picked the date. 2 days I'm going to be doing some batching for the show later this month. We worked through some failed payment issues happening, some payment plan change requests from customers, and a variety of things in the inbox. Like we literally went through like, okay, this email, we need this feedback on, we need to do this on this thing. I need your help with this thing. I need you to do this thing. It was like a lot of that. Screen sharing, talking through things for about an hour and a half. And it was great. Like, I think we both felt so accomplished by the end of it. I also this morning before the meeting approved some emails for Breakthrough Brand All Access that are like sending reminders about one of our coaching calls. So I like read through the emails, made a little bit of changes, and then scheduled those. That was something else I did. And then I took a lunch break, nursed Colin, ate lunch with him and Adam, and Colin, I think I said this morning, but Colin is like sick officially with a cold. It's been really sad seeing him sick. I hate seeing sick babies. And he's only had a cold a few times. But anyway, we called his pediatrician for advice and kind of did some things to help him with that. And then I had to go back to work though, which I kind of hated like leaving him. But again, feels good that he's like just downstairs. So anyway, Adam and him kept doing their thing. And I had my meeting with Abby. That was another meeting that was about an hour and a half long. It was also really good. So we talked through changes in the business from July, how her month was being away. And it was so fun, like hearing just all about that. So we talked through that for a while, and then things to work on, upcoming this month and like this week in the business. One thing we're going to, like, y'all are hearing it first here, literally, it's not going to be available yet at the time this airs, but one offer we're working on is template customizations, in-house for M-Shop templates. So that was something Abby and I talked about, was like the vision for that, what it'll look like, and planning it. So like this afternoon after our meeting, I got out a Google Doc and like wrote out like vision and plan and like process ideas for that whole thing. And then Abby and I will meet again about that. But that was something we talked about in our meeting. And then after my meeting with Abby, I saw Adam and Colin again. So a little break there. And then I worked more on to-dos that came out of both those meetings today. So basically like boring, I guess, administrative stuff and stuff I enjoy doing, getting back to people and things, again, working on that vision for template customizations, just some random stuff, more emailing, more process type stuff, some stuff in ThriveCart. I actually made a video for a member of Breakthrough Brand All Access answering one of her questions. So just a lot of random stuff like that. And then I spent about an hour in the Breakthrough Brand All Access Facebook community, and then also in the Book.Designer group. So an hour total in those 2 groups responding to people's questions. So we had a variety of things, from like someone trying to figure out how to automate something in their business, people trying to name their lead magnets, advice on like different social media stuff. So a variety of things. And I wrote back, where to get stock photos, like so many different things. So I was writing back whatever I could help with, or tagging people who might have a different perspective than me in those groups. And then just now, right before I sat down to record with you, I was downstairs with Adam and Colin, because again, Colin seems so sick, poor guy. And I was trying to like help Adam troubleshoot something with that, and offering some comfort, and kind of talking about like what's next for our evening. So as you can tell, maybe if you are remembering what I said was on my to-do list this morning, but I didn't get to the membership content or to the coffee shop to work. Colin being sick made me want to just stay home. So when I finished that meeting with Abby, that was basically like my opportunity of like, okay, right now it's like 1:30. I can leave and go spend the rest of the day in a coffee shop, or I can stay here. And I just wanted to be home, and kind of felt like I was going to be just as productive here. And also that I wasn't really in the headspace for content creation, which sometimes, guys, you got to get rid of the plan and really follow like your creativity and your energy in your business. I'm big on that, on like having like, yes, this is stuff I'm working on, but also being flexible of like when something might take a little longer, or when you're just not in the creative space to create something good. So whenever I'm making content for this podcast, for my membership, for courses, for all of it, I have to be in like a certain headspace to really write something super good as well as recording something super good. And I just wasn't in that headspace this afternoon. I was more so like, okay, a lot of things came out of these meetings and I want to work on those things. And so that's what I was focusing on. And that's okay. I'll get to the membership stuff. I'm working on it far enough in advance that I'm not up against an intense deadline or anything like that. So that's my little, I guess, advice to you there is like, it's okay to be flexible on these sorts of things. And I was kind of feeling pretty tired after those meetings today and not really like, okay, let me sit down and like crank out some content. So that was my day. So I knocked a lot of things off to the to-do list. Some things I didn't realize were going to be on my to-do list, I knocked off as well. And it's been a good day. I also did a little bit on that real estate listing of checking in on it. We are evaluating whether or not we want to reduce the price of rent to try to get some traction. Because we, if you do real estate investing, having like an empty rental is a bigger loss sometimes than like just reducing the rent would be. So like you might be trying to rent it for higher, but vacancy is like a worse thing basically. I hope that makes sense. But anyway, we're kind of thinking about like when our current tenants are moving out and then like making sure we get someone in before then, even if that means like reducing the rate basically. So that's something we're going to talk about. And I was looking at on Facebook right before this as well. And tonight, I'm not sure what we're going to be doing. We don't really have anything planned. And we probably aren't going out with a sick baby. So tonight will probably be a night that we eat some of the food we have at home. I have some salmon in the freezer and some veggies that we might make. I always like to buy like some salmon and veggies to do like a meal like that, or like some baked chicken or something, at least once a week in addition to like whatever meal prep stuff I did. So we might do that, or we might get takeout. There is a food truck coming to our neighborhood tonight that I'm very tempted by going to get, but I don't think Adam wants to do that. So we'll see. We don't really have anything planned. We'll probably do some fun, like chill time with Colin, might go on a walk in the neighborhood, might do some reading later. We will see. So that's it for my Wednesday, and I'll be back in the morning to tell you what's going on Thursday. Hello, friends. So I'm actually talking to you at 4:55 on Thursday evening. I skipped this morning because I was out of the door fairly early and I wanted to get to it, but then I didn't. And then I've been gone or with Colin most of the day. So Thursday, right now at almost 5, and I'm talking to you, and I want to tell you about the workday and also about last night. So let me start with last night. So last night we got takeout again. Not very exciting. We've had a very like chill week at home. I should say that. Even as I'm talking, I'm like, wait, is this even interesting? But this is like real life, and that's what I said I'd do in this episode. But last night we got takeout. We went on a long walk as a family around our neighborhood. Even though it was really hot, it still was good. And Adam and I just got to talk, which is always fun. And then after Colin was asleep, we did a few different things. So first, Adam left during the bedtime routine to go on a run at the park. And then I put Colin down for bed. And then once he was asleep, I did a yoga video just downstairs in our living room from YouTube, and then an ab workout for like about 30 minutes. It was so wonderful and relaxing and exactly what I needed. If you didn't know this about me, I actually used to teach yoga, and I'm a certified yoga teacher. It's been years now since I taught. Actually, about the length of my business is how it's about like 6 years, 6.5 years is about how long it's been since I've like really taught a class. But I love yoga and I love doing it. And it always just gets me in such a relaxed headspace. Feels so good to stretch. So if you're just looking to like relax and you have like 10 to 20 minutes, I highly recommend just going on YouTube, finding a yoga video that sounds good to you. You will never regret it. It's so enjoyable. But anyway, I literally did a video from Yoga with Adrienne. I will link to it in the show notes if you want to try it for yourself. It was just a 20-minute yoga video. So really chill. Again, just did it in the living room on my yoga mat. And then I did an ab workout after for like another 10 minutes. And that was it. And then Adam and I watched an episode of Explained on Netflix. We absolutely love that show. It's really cool. It's like docu-series vibe episodes where each one's only about 20 minutes. So it's really short, and they basically explain a different topic. And so we're watching from the newer season, but we've seen all the previous season as well. And the one we watched last night was about the oil industry. And so it was like very like history of the oil industry. And that might sound boring to some people, but it was super interesting to both of us. So we enjoyed that. And then after that, we read some. I'm still reading The 4 Hour Work Week. Another book I'm reading that I also picked up last night because Adam is reading the 4-Hour Work Week with me now as well. Now that he finished his book before. And we only have one copy. So he's reading the same copy as me. So he got to read that one. And then another book I'm reading, if you're just looking for book recommendations, because this is what I'm also really enjoying, is The Montessori Toddler. So I read The Montessori Baby when Colin was a baby and really liked that one. I will say I skimmed parts of it because I read it when he was a little older. So some of it felt like not as relevant because a lot of it applies to super newborns. And obviously Colin is still a baby now, but he's about to be kind of in that toddler age. And so I was like, oh, I should pick up the next one in this series. So I'm enjoying that so far. I really love Montessori stuff. I don't agree with everything 100%, but I think it's pretty cool. So I read that some as well. Okay, now let me tell you about this morning. So this morning I got up at like 6 a.m. and I had about 45 minutes before Colin got up. So I got to have coffee, relax, have a quiet time where I got to pray and read my Bible and also read a book some as well before he woke up, which was awesome. I really enjoy quiet mornings, and now they feel more like rare and special. Before it was like, of course I can have a quiet morning before being a mom, as long as I just like got up before I wanted to start work, which is like I can start work whenever I want. So that's a little different now, and I'm always really grateful for those quiet mornings. So anyway, let me tell you about quiet time stuff. I always like to share some resources when I talk about things like this on the podcast for those of you who are interested in some of what I use and really appreciate and enjoy for like spiritual life tools. So one of my favorite resources for prayer is the 5-Year Prayer Journal by Hosanna Revival. I will link to it in the show notes for this. I'm not an affiliate or anything. I wish I was though, because they are awesome. But it's a 5-year prayer journal. So it's kind of like those one a day little notebooks you see sometimes where you write like a few lines a day for about your life, and it might be like 3 years or 5 years or whatever. It's that similar concept, but it's with prayer and a lot more lines to write. So I might look and see August 4th, and then I can write in that this is 2022, and I can write my prayer in. And then for future years, I have 4 more to write in. And so then you can see what you were praying for the year prior in that date. And I can easily like kind of like flip through the prayer book and see like different prayers in different times in my life. So it's really cool. And I really love it. I love it too for this season because I'm someone who really loves journaling, but I'm not necessarily every day getting out my big prayer journal where it's meant for me. Like in that one, I write like pages. So usually I'm praying and then I kind of write a little bit of it in this prayer journal. And I love, again, to be able to look back at it. So that's a really cool tool. It starts in January and ends in December. So getting it around Christmas and starting the new year is great, but you could also start it literally any time, and then you'll just have the middle of the year being your start date. So anyway, highly recommend that. Another Bible study tool I really love is the Give Me Jesus Journal by Well-Watered Women. Cannot recommend that one enough for like a tool to help you really study scripture, books of the Bible, all of that. So I'll link to that as well. So those are just 2 little resources I wanted to share, but I did all that. And then in my Bible right now, I've been reading Daniel. So I read some of that. And I also am working on scripture memory. Memorizing some of my favorite passages. So I actually, in the prayer journal, on a day that I had skipped, because I have not been doing this every single day, so on a day I skipped, I wrote in the scripture I'm trying to memorize and just tried to write it from memory. I did not do that great of a job this morning because I keep getting the different translations kind of mixed up in my memory. So I'm trying now to be like, okay, I'm only memorizing this translation of it. But I want to tell you guys that scripture because seriously, it's one of my absolute favorites. I actually have it on a template, one of the new templates. I put it on the about page on the template because I was like, oh, I want to put this somewhere. And I'm going to put it on my website as well on my about page. So me and that template will kind of be matching. But the scripture is Ephesians 3:20 and 21. And the New Living Translation, which is the one I'm working on memorizing, it says, "Now all glory to God, who is able through his mighty power at work within us to accomplish infinitely more than we might ask or think. Glory to him in the church and in Jesus Christ Jesus through all generations, forever and ever. Amen. So that first part is my favorite of it. Now all glory to God who is able through his mighty power at work within us to accomplish infinitely more than we might ask or think. Another one of the translations says ask, think, or imagine. So anyway, I just love that scripture, and love the book of Ephesians as well. So that's, if you're looking for some scripture to like dive into more, a chapter in the Bible, Ephesians 3 is awesome. So that was my time before Colin got up. And then when Colin woke up, I went upstairs, nursed him, and we started the day. We hung out as usual for like as a family for like an hour-ish. And then around 8 o'clock, I spent about an hour working before I had to leave for my eye appointment. So during that hour is when I could have recorded this with you guys, but I got to a few other like key things instead. And then I had to leave for that eye doctor appointment. So random just appointment on a Thursday, but I have been having eye problems for months. I can even tell you guys the story because why not? But I had an injury to one of my eyes. Colin accidentally scratched it, which was really painful, but not that bad in the moment at the same time, but hurt me for a few days. And then it caused that eye to like literally be injured. My vision got worse in that eye over time. And it's just been a huge pain. I'm also dealing with eye dryness now, which is a whole nother thing. So I'm having to switch contact lens prescriptions and doing all kinds of stuff like fancy eye ointments, and had to do no contacts, for like a month. So I had my last medical eye appointment today, which was amazing to finally be like graduated from that. My eye doctor was literally like, you've graduated from medical appointments. So I'm trying another contact prescription, literally a sample in my eyes right now. So I had that appointment for about an hour from like 9:30 to 10:30. And then I went to a coffee shop and worked from about 10:30 to 1 p.m. So got to like crank out that coffee shop work time like I was saying I wanted to do yesterday, but didn't get to. And just to tell you a little bit about what I did during that time. So first, I worked on getting back to team members on a variety of things, from social media stuff to template launch stuff to customer support stuff, just answering questions, getting back to people, reviewing things, all of that good stuff. So that was a few different things there. And then I worked on more of the stuff for that big ClickUp project I'm doing with Systems Up that I told you guys about. So I have a lot of intake stuff to do for that. And I've been like slowly working through it, and I'm trying to be as detailed as possible because I'm all about like being a good client to people. I know how important that is. So I'm trying to be a great client to them and get them everything they need and like do it really organized so that they can do their best work as well. And then I scheduled a few meetings. I did some accounting stuff for the business and some template stuff. And I actually finalized the first of those new sales page templates, got like completely all the way finalized. Like I said, my copywriter, Emily, she reviewed it all and sent me her feedback, and like so helpful. She had a few small changes, mostly was really excited about it and was like, I need this myself. But she gave some changes that I was like, yes, thank you for catching that. That was a good thought. So now I feel like it's like there and ready to go, and we're making the rest of them. So that's really exciting. I like did all the like next step stuff on that. And then I went home around 1, got home around 1:15. I was so hungry when I got home, as you could imagine. And Adam in his kindness fixed me lunch, and I ate lunch with, and hung out with Adam and Colin while I ate, and did that for like about 45 minutes or so. And then around 2 p.m., I got back to work while, again, Adam's taking care of Colin during this time, just downstairs in our house. And I went back to working on that ClickUp project. So I had more things to do. I kind of was feeling like I was in the mood for that today of like, let me like work on getting stuff to them. So I actually was like I ended up writing like 6 pages in a Google Doc with some of the different systems I have in my business that they are going to be taking from our current system and putting into ClickUp. So like writing it out, using screenshots, links, all of that for like all the document I made today was like all the internal systems specifically that we use as a team. So things like for team meetings, SOPs, different metrics we track, all kinds of stuff like that, team calendars. And then I made them a 20-minute Loom video, like walking through it all. So I got through that one, and then I did one for our SOPs too. So I did that pretty quickly this afternoon. I just got right to it. And then Colin went down for his nap, and Adam was gone during Colin's nap time. He was like set Colin up, got him asleep, everything. And was like, okay, now you're just going to have the monitor and you're going to get to focus on work. And I was expecting to get to work more. I was actually going to be diving into some membership stuff, like literally started the document, got going, but poor baby could not sleep. He was so pitiful with this cold. And I ended up going in there and trying to like hold him to help him keep sleeping. And he sounded awful. And we, again, tried to get him to sleep a little longer, but just was really upsetting. Clearly was not going to work well. So we woke up, and then Colin and I went and played upstairs in our bonus room. And I did another yoga video because my back's been hurting today. So I did that yoga video and like stretched while he just played. And then Adam came home after that around like 4:30. So I had like a little while there of just me and Colin time, which was really sweet. And I always treasure those times that we always have so much fun together. Like we did some fun stuff hanging out in the bonus room, and I got to do my yoga video. But then Adam got home, and then he sent me back up here to work, and he's actually making our dinner right now. And that leads me to right now. So right now, Colin and Adam are downstairs. Adam is making that salmon dish tonight with veggies, and prepping all that. And I'm recording this for you guys, and I'm about to like check the inbox one more time today. I haven't really been in it much today, but get back to some people, especially getting back to my team members. And then I'm going to sign off and start again on Friday. And Friday will be a bit more of a chill work day for me, I'm planning, but we'll kind of see there. And then this evening, Adam and I are kind of just having an at-home date night. So we're just hanging out tonight after we get Colin to sleep. And right now we're probably going to go on a family walk, have dinner, and just hang out and try to help our sweet baby not be so sick. So that's it. And I'll check back in with you guys on Friday. All right, guys, it is officially Friday, and I had an early morning with Colin. I'm actually starting the workday right now at 10 a.m. during nap time. It's truly a nap time work session. But let me tell you about the morning so far, and I'll tell you what's on the agenda today. So Colin and I woke up at about 6:30 a.m. And we actually, Adam and I planned today that he would go, as we like to call it, off campus to a coffee shop to work this morning so he could get some focused stuff done. And what he's actually working on is not for our real estate business, not for his graduate school stuff, but actually for a camp speaker role he'll be playing in September. We're actually going to be going to a Young Life camp, Sharp Top Cove, in September, and Adam is the camp speaker for the weekend, which is so exciting, such an honor that he got asked to do that. So we're really thrilled about that, and I'm excited for Colin to get to experience Young Life camp for the first time, and for me to get to watch Adam be the camp speaker, which means giving like multiple sermons. Basically in Young Life we call them talks, but basically giving, I think it's 4 or 5 total over the course of 3 days. So really cool. So he basically, though, to prepare for that, he has to write all these and plan them out and all of that. So it was good for him to go and like just get some focused work done, not in the house while I took care of Colin. And again, we had already planned on that. And so it's like I knew today, diving into it, that I would be starting work later. So Adam left pretty early to do that at like 7 a.m. ish. And when Adam left, Colin and I went on a morning walk around the neighborhood again before it got too hot. And then we did a fun breakfast. We did bath time, and we did a lot of just playing together. I seriously love mornings like this with him where I'm just like, we're just playing and we have like, however many hours until nap time. It definitely is exhausting. I will say moms know this, but it's like when I'm working on stuff in my business, sometimes it feels so much easier than like chasing around a little toddler. But still so fun nonetheless. But we did a game actually that I saw on an Instagram account that's like a Montessori game ideas thing, where, good idea if anyone wants to do this, but we took a empty, it was actually like an egg whites carton, but like a small milk carton basically. And I gave Colin things to put into the carton. And then he was really enjoying like shaking it around. And then I opened up the whole carton to show him like that's where everything it like came from. And then he was pulling it out. Anyway, he really enjoyed it. So that was super fun. We did breakfast. Oh, and then I also worked on planning Colin's first birthday party. So in the midst of all the playing with him, I literally talked out loud to him and got out a piece of paper and was like mapping out, okay, what are the different possible foods we could serve? What are the things I need to buy still? What are the things I need to research? I don't think I shared that this week, but we're throwing his birthday party. His birthday is September 2nd, but we're throwing it like a week later. And it's Little Blue Truck themed, which is his absolutely favorite book series for kids. It's so fun. We love it. He loves it. So that's the theme. And I've already got a few things together, but now that we're getting closer, I'm like, I've got to book a cake. So I was doing some research of like, okay, where around Nashville can I get to make a cake? And then I was also trying to plan out like what different foods we need and what I still need to buy decorations wise. So Colin and I talked through that. And I worked on ideas there. And then now I put him down for his nap, like about 10 minutes ago, and I'm sitting down to talk to you guys. So what's on the agenda for the rest of the day though? I'm working during the snap. Adam actually just got home. He was going to stay gone longer. I told him like, hey, stay gone as long as you need to, but he went ahead and came back to like, just keep working, now in our house on the same thing, on working on those club talks. And he actually brought me a $5 donut, which is so sweet. So I'm going to split that with him later, but I thought that was a nice little gift. But I'm going to be working during the snap time. Like I said, I'm about to actually work on content for my membership, Breakthrough Brand All Access. I've worked more on like, what is the topic for the month? So continuing to outline and plan that training and just get all geared up for that. So I'm about to dive into that next. Then after that, I'm going to be doing some SEO work on my template shop. So I think I shared this already, but I'm working on redesigning the shop pages. And with that redesign, I'm like double checking everything and also doing some SEO stuff on each of the pages. That's a change from what was originally set up. So I'm going to dive into that. That'll be really like chill work for me after doing like the more mentally intensive work of like writing the content for the membership. So those are my next few things. And after that today, I have a lot of stuff in the inbox to check in on. I will be taking care of Colin more. Additionally, my mom is actually coming into town today. I mentioned yesterday that we have family visiting this weekend. Well, she is that family. So she'll be getting here not that long from now, like around lunchtime. So I basically today might look like a nap time work day, like working during this first nap, working during the second nap, hanging out with my mom when she's here. And then tonight, my sister's coming over. Adam is actually going to play golf with friends, and my mom and my sister and I are having Mexican food and margaritas and just a little bit of a girls' night after Colin goes to bed. So basically though, the Fridays tend to be like this for me. I often don't really work Fridays. Or if I do, it's like a little bit during nap time. So I'm going to be trying to do some like really important, like what moves the needle forward in my business work during this first nap. And also I will during the second nap, I'm going to tell my mom like, hey, you make yourself at home. I'm going to go upstairs and work, and do that nap time work stuff. And I also might leave Colin with her for a little while downstairs and do a few other things. So we will see what happens there, but I hold today loosely because of having family at home and because it being a Friday. So yeah, that's it. That's what's on the agenda for the day. And I'll check back in a little while. All right, guys, I'm back for the final check-in of the week. Thanks for being here all the way to the end of this episode. So I'm actually recording this Saturday. Sorry about it. Friday, like I said, it's kind of like wasn't a full work day. So I worked some, was with my mom, some was with Colin some, and then I ended up basically like going straight from working on stuff I was really trying to get done to like my mom and sister being here, and then needing to take care of Colin, needing to get dinner ready and putting him down for bedtime. And then it was like, whoa, okay, like I didn't get to record this. So now I'm talking to you on a Saturday, which kind of makes sense because we talked about last weekend. So we can talk a little bit about this weekend as well. But yesterday was good. Like I said, I got to do a lot of mom time. Wasn't really a full work day. I got to hang out with my own mom. And I did get some really good, important stuff done for my membership trainings. I got to be in the Facebook group for Book Designer, my membership, things I'm doing multiple times a week. So really checking in, answering people's questions. I got to really get my inbox cleared out. Got meetings all set up for next week. Next week is a week with a lot of meetings, which feels funny. Next week would probably been a more interesting week to have done this during, but oh well, we're here now because this week in the aftermath of, I'm like, this wasn't that interesting, but like, hey, that's life in business. Like it's not always that interesting, but I got all that kind of stuff set up. And it was a good but short work day. Had a fun night with my mom and sister, and Adam had a fun night golfing. And then this morning, we kind of had a chill morning, really early morning with Colin again on like the sleep stuff. We've got to figure something out there lately. We've had trouble with sleep, not always, but lately, but had a really early morning. And then I just had a really good workout at the gym. I tend to always work out on Saturday and Sunday and often on Friday as well. Lately, since Colin's been born, again, everything is so different. I feel like every quarter as a new mom, it's like we're reevaluating and changing up the schedule. But at least lately, those have been days where it's okay, I pretty consistently am always getting to the gym. Whereas on the other days of the week, I might be more likely to maybe get one workout in. And then besides that, doing some big walks in the neighborhood with Colin. But anyway, I did a good gym workout, got a good leg workout in. My legs are feeling it. And it was really fun and enjoyable, and did a little jogging as well. And then today, what are we doing today? I mean, I guess just hanging out. Saturday is normally a day where we would make plans with friends, but with my mom being here, we're not doing that. My mom is going to hang out with my sister for a while during the day today. I know Adam is planning to clean out the garage, which will be really awesome. Since we moved here, we actually have only been parking my car in the garage because we just need to organize all the things in there. So he's going to work on organizing that. And I'm hoping to do a lot of reading time. Saturdays are that's another thing for me of a lot of time reading. I love to do a long quiet time and just spend a lot of time in books, basically. So I plan to read more of the 4-Hour Work Week, more of that new Lucy Foley book, and that sort of thing, and just chilling out there. And then tonight, me, Adam, and Colin will probably go out for dinner somewhere. So that's basically it. I feel like I'm trying to think of what else I should share, but that's really it. I don't know what Sunday will look like, but you've gotten a lot of days here. I said it was going to be 7 days behind the scenes with me, but it's been more close to 9 days. So anyway, that is it though, guys. Again, thank you for listening all the way to the end. And I know a lot of this felt really random and really strangely detailed, and a lot of stuff relating more to my personal life even than my business. But I hope that you found some value in it, found maybe something interesting, a little tidbit you can use in your own life, or just seeing that hey, it's all pretty normal and standard. There's not always that much of exciting stuff going on. And like I said, next week would have been a better week. I'm literally pulling up my calendar for next week right now. Monday next week, I have a mastermind interview for a mastermind I'm wanting to join, interviewing a nanny. I'm getting my hair done. We have a team meeting. We have a Breakthrough Brand All Access mastermind call. We have Meet the Teacher for Colin's new play school. We have the kickoff project for my systems, overall project with Systems Up, the kickoff call for that. And then I have a social media meeting with someone on my team. So I have next week is a heavy meeting week. So you could even maybe see comparing this week to what I just told you next week is that I have weeks where it's okay, I'm doing not many meetings, a lot more internal work, and then other weeks where it's a meeting 3 a day sort of thing to get it all done. So every week is just a lot different. So anyway, that's it. Again, I hope you enjoy this. Let me know what you think. Come message me on Instagram if there was anything that you related to in this, any little tidbit you got. I'd seriously would love to hear it. And I'll be back next week on the podcast with something not nearly this long and probably related specifically to tips to help you grow a sustainable business. So that's it again. Thanks for listening. I'll talk to you then. If you love the Breakthrough Brand podcast, then you need to join me for the next level inside of my membership, Breakthrough Brand All Access. Inside of All Access, you get coaching calls with me where you can ask me anything and get help with your specific business. If you've ever felt like you want me to be your business coach, you want my take on things, this is your way to do so. You also can get access to our amazing community. Seriously, I can tell you, they are the greatest, where you can collaborate, get feedback, and make friends as you grow your business together. And on top of all that, you get additional trainings from me that help you build a sustainable, scalable business. You'll be able to take the things you learn from this podcast and apply them to your business alongside myself and a collaborative group of other business owners. You can get all the details and all the info about joining at elizabethmccravey.com/BBAA. The doors aren't always open, so they aren't right now. Just get on the wait list to be notified as soon as they open up again. So thank you for being here, friend. Thanks for listening all the way to the end. And I hope to see you soon inside of Breakthrough Brand All Access. Again, the link is elizabethmccravey.com/BBAA.